Well, I do. I remember the funny part. So I remember when Tom Way and Mia were about to bang.
Bang it out.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Oh.
Yeah, literally. They confine him to the bed and start taking their clothes off.
Oh.
They're like, you haven't blossomed yet, but we're gonna help you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add context to this.
No.
So.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into AniMan Plus, episode 48. My name is Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having an incredible day, whatever day you're listening or perhaps watching this podcast at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparky3. Give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend that you're watching. Let's keep growing the channel. We greatly appreciate that. Joining with me back here in the studio, he wasn't in here last week. I got Zach back in here. Zach, how you doing? Welcome back, my friend.
I'm doing good. Ready?
Ready to do it? Here we go.
Still not surprised at all that you forgot last week.
I wish it didn't. I really, really do, because I truly, I want the record to be known, I really did plan to watch Dragon Quest with no context and review it. I just forgot. It's on me.
It's actually probably good you didn't, because it was a pretty lackluster episode.
Well, that's disappointing. The 1 week I had that opportunity, I'm just going to do it one day. Out of the blue, I'm going to hit you. I'm not going to tell you. We're going to get to Dragon Quest. I'm going to give you my review on it.
Okay.
With no context. We'll do that sooner or later. And then the man who held down the fort with me last week, I got Josh here on the phone. Josh, how you feeling today, bub?
I'm feeling good.
Having a good day so far?
Feeling great. Oh, yeah.
Right on, man. That's what I like to hear. Well, we do have some One Piece news to talk about today, so I know you're definitely pumped up to talk about that. We got some.
Oh, always.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some good stuff. Got a season 2 announcement for an anime that we're watching currently. We got a pretty cool app that's on the way. I'm excited to talk about here, and of course, all of our manga sales, anime talks, all the normal stuff. So first little thing here is that we are going to be on a break next week. AniMan Plus will return on the 19th for episode 49, and then on the 26th, episode 50 will be dropping. Just a friendly reminder, our 1 year is on the 25th. Shout out to that. 1 year of this terrible ass show, guys. We're doing it. We're rocking. Looking forward to episode 50. Of course, we're going to be talking about some of the greatest fights in anime, manga, and webtoon history. Really excited to do all that jazz. But once again, like I said, no episode next week. We're going to have a break, so just stick around for us. We'll be back on the 19th. You can make sure to go follow us at Twitter as well, at AniMan Podcast. We share news, post some polls every once in a while, et cetera, et cetera. We also have my other podcast, Lighthearted Gamers. You can go follow that at Twitter, at LH Gamers Podcast. And a terrible football show. That's ready to launch, boys. The September 9th, episode 1 is launching. I do have a trailer out for a Terrible Football Show, so it should be on almost every platform now. I think there's still a couple platforms I got to submit to, but that show is pretty much going to be out there.
Is that what that was? I was very curious.
Yeah.
Why a Terrible Football Show showed up on stuff for me.
Yep. It's just I had it's that way. So when I go to post episode 1, the feed's already created, and I've already got it submitted to everything. Because I know with iHeartRadio and Pandora, there is a legitimate review process that takes a few days. Spotify's instant. Apple takes a couple days. Google takes a few days, but most of them are pretty much instant. But a couple actually need review. So I just wanted to go ahead and get the RSS feed done. So you could definitely go give us a follow at whatever platform you like listening to podcast on. A Terrible Football Show is once again the name of the show. And lastly, if you want to support us further, the Patreon is a phenomenal way to do so. Don't feel obligated though. Just be a friend, tell a friend that you're listening to the show. Keep supporting us that way. We'll call it good there. With that said, I figure we can just go ahead and jump into it now. I figure we can go ahead and just kind of dive into the news of what we got going on here this week. So a couple things to note here is, one, in this upcoming issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, Black Clover will be on an unplanned break in issue 40. Apparently the rumor is that Tabata is sick. T's and P's if that is the case, but it will be back in issue 41 from what I'm seeing, so it's all good there. Now another one, now this one's kind of a bummer. Ranger Reject, a series that I've been giving ratings for here on the show, the Power Rangers manga essentially that's going on in Weekly Shonen Magazine. It's about 25 chapters in or so. Its sales, do pretty well, popping off, pretty decently. That is unfortunately now on a hiatus. We do not know the time frame on that, but it is just due to the health of the creator. No details on what we're talking about when we say the health of the creator, but obviously T's and P's on that. That is a bummer to hear a hiatus. It's kind of the same thing with JJK that we had a couple months ago, but at least with JJK we did have the window of it'll be like a 1 month break. We'll kind of see where we are and come back onto it, and sure enough, it was just a 1 month break. In this case, we have no time frame. It's just, hey, it is on hiatus, which to me, just hearing that, hearing no time frame, that's kind of spooky a little bit, you know what I mean? So again, T's and P's on that note there. Speaking of Death Note, the artist for Death Note, Takashi, Obata, is going to be starting a new manga series in the upcoming Jump SQ issue 11, 2021, which is coming out in October this year, of course, in collaboration with the writer Asakura Akanari. It is titled Shoha Shoten, which will focus on two boys dabbling in the comedian business. This will be officially launching on October 4th, 2021. Boys, do you have any interest in checking this out? I personally don't, but I'll probably give it a read because, I mean, with it being in the comedian business, hopefully I can just get a good laugh.
I mean, I'll probably at least dabble into it and see what it's about because I did enjoy the nice little artwork they did for the announcement was, oh God, it's been so long since that's from Death Note, but I think if remembering correctly, the Death God Ryu, no, that's not right, but our Death God Shinigami Ryu, dropping his apple in the hands of just some kid, which I'm going to guess is either a character from the
one shot is what it was. Yeah. What about you, Josh? Any interest in checking this out?
Maybe. It depends on how, I guess, easily available it is.
Fair. Like I said,
if it's on...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I know. I was going to say if it's on like Viz or Manga Plus or something like that, definitely might, give it the 3-chapter try.
Fair. 3-chapter try. That's always a good, easy go-to there. Except in, my case, I like to beat my head against the wall for 15 chapters with Candy Flurry. But here, whatever, we keep rolling with it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I may check it out. I mean, if it's going to be obviously based in like the comedian business, hopefully I can just get a laugh. I enjoy a good series where I can just get a laugh. We did have the announcement for a new Pokemon anime coming out called Pokemon Evolutions. It's going to be an 8-episode series beginning on the 9th of September. It's going to be running until the 23rd of December. Each episode will focus on a different region, starting with Gen 8 and working back to Gen 1. I did see the trailer for this, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to actually check this out because this has the most like anime vibe that I've seen to Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Yeah, like it really legitimately looks like an actual anime, which gets me pretty pumped because still to this day, Pokemon X, the XYZ series, while they still have like, the more cartoony animation style, but that was the closest Pokemon's ever been to an anime, a true anime.
Well, what about Pokemon Red?
The Origins was good. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Origins was good. If we're talking like in animation of like in terms of what makes it feel like and look like an actual anime, I'd definitely say Evolutions looks like it's going to be the top of the top, and then probably Origins. Yeah,
I mean, I watched the trailer too. It looks very good. Yep. Evolutions is, and I'm very intrigued by it. I did also like the little banner they showed of the 8 different characters going to fall, and how pretty much all of them apparently have ties to legendary Pokemon.
Yes. Now this is actually pretty exciting. Well, Josh, what's your thoughts as a big Pokemon fan?
Well, it looks really nice. It looks up there with, like you said, Origins, Generations, and Twilight Wings, which animation-wise, all of those are really good, like compared to the Pokemon anime that we get through like Netflix now. So I'm really hyped for this animation. It looks really good. I'm interested in the story and how it's going to go, because it looks like it's a lot more than just like it might be more than a 30-minute episode, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I agree, because like from the little bit that I read, it almost feels like they're going to basically run through the plot of each game in that one episode. That's kind of the vibe that I was getting. That each episode's going to focus on basically the games that correspond with it for that region. So, I mean, it is definitely pretty interesting there, and I can agree. I could definitely see it not being longer than 30 minutes. And, maybe being like an hour episode or something like that. So I'd be kind of curious. Really nice. It would, and I'm kind of curious how they would squeeze all that content in there, what they would cut out, what they would leave in, sort of thing. But no, I'm definitely pumped for this, because like we said, when it comes to the normal show that we're used to, I mean, the closest it's ever been to an anime was Gen 6. That was the closest. That was my favorite season for sure. I've watched Gens 1 through 6 so many times thanks to Twitch Presents Pokemon. Whenever this is when I was working overnights, and on my weekends off, I still tried to keep my overnight schedule, so I'd be up all night on the weekends, and Twitch had my back, and they had Pokemon playing, so it's the only thing that kept me up consistently. And I got to say, Gen 5 sucks ass. That is by far the worst. By far the worst anime of Pokemon. No questions asked. Like, I rewatched it like 3 times because it was on and I was brain dead. And I'm just trying to stay the worst. Hands down. No questions asked.
Yeah. It's not that good. 7 grows on you, and 8's actually been pretty good so far from what, we're getting released on Netflix. So
Everything that I've seen about 8 does look cool. I will say that.
Yeah. This definitely looks really nice. You know, it makes me wish, though, that we got an actual anime adaptation of the Pokemon manga.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's been going on forever.
I know.
And they're currently in Gen 8. Like, that would be amazing to have, like, an actual adaptation.
Have either of you boys actually sit down and read Pokemon Adventures at all? Like any of the OG stuff or whatever?
I have seen bits and pieces, and it's kind of not for children.
No.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's much more of a older audience, ideally. I've never read any of it. I've seen it popped up here and again. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, back in the day, I would check out the manga volumes from the library back in the day. This is like the Kanto version, so like focusing on red, blue, and green. Dude, that shit was good. That shit was really, really good. And one of my favorite fun facts for people that I like to give for people that don't know about the manga or haven't really checked into it is asking people what was Red's first Pokemon, because if you haven't looked into the manga, you have no idea, and you would probably assume one of the starters or Pikachu, right? Nope, it was a Poliwag. Poliwag was his first Pokemon, and then his second, I believe, was Bulbasaur, and then he got a Pikachu. When it comes to like a more mature audience, that is for sure a thing. Like Pokemon, like legit, just get fucking murdered in front of you. Like I very clearly remember one of the chapters where there was an Arbok that got its fucking head just sliced completely off, and I'm just like, gosh damn, I was a little kid. I'm like, what the fuck? What's happening?
Yeah, Pokemon don't faint people.
No, they die. They die. But no, Pokemon Evolutions for sure is something that I'm looking forward to. We may actually add it to the script. That's something we may add in if we're gonna watch it when it comes out. I probably intend to watch it next week. I don't know what it's releasing on though. Do we know?
I was about to ask, do any of us know what it's releasing?
More than likely, I'd say probably YouTube. That's where they release Twilight Wing.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Generations and Origins. I think we're all...
Yeah, they were. You're right. So that is probably where it's going to be. So that may get added to the script. We'll take a look at it We'll take a look at it next week, going into the episode 49 that's coming out on the 19th. One little piece of news that we got is To Your Eternity season 2 is planned for fall of next year. That did close out the episode 20, which is the finale for this season. You know, the season that just broke my heart and rebuilt it almost every single episode. So looking forward to season 2 next year to shatter my heart all over again. It's gonna be great. Can't wait. Now, we do also have the official Twitter account for Sakamoto Days is going to be launching soon, which that's obviously a very good sign for the series. We already know it's been selling really well. It's been received really well. Shout out to Zach for being really the first one here to really find that series and be like, hey, guys, this is some good shit. Shout out to you. So yeah, with it getting its official Twitter account sometime here in the near future, that does obviously set up a lot of good things to come, including an anime. So definitely looking forward to seeing the possibilities and just the continued success for Sakamoto Days. And if you haven't checked it out, go give it a read. It's a fun read. It is a very fun read.
Actually, quick question. Did you see the cover for the 3rd volume at all?
I did, but man, I forgot. What was it? It's
just a nice little scene of our sniper guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In Sakamoto store, just on a building, just sort of sitting there like...
Yes. Now, did you see what the Twitter handle will be?
No, I did not.
It is Sakamoto Store.
Yes.
It is Sakamoto Store. I loved that when I saw it.
The other cover I saw that was real nice this week on Twitter was the ITLC Volume 3 cover.
Yep.
That was a nice cover.
It was. Shout out to ITLC. Rest in pieces. You were good for 5 chapters. Such a strong start.
Climax of the story in the second arc.
Such a strong start to a series, man. Like ITLC, it was banger after banger of chapters for like the first 5 to 7, and then just downhill. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, so let's jump into some bigger news here. So first up, the World Maker app by Shonen Jump Plus. This recently got in the news. I think it was actually Friday, of course, day after we record. You know how that goes. Dude, this app looks legit. All right, I'm really excited to see the possibilities for this. One thing I'm really excited about is seeing if it's going to be available to us. Because from everything that I saw, it looked like it was clearly just going to be Japanese. So I am curious if it'll ever be available for us. So basically what this app's going to be, it's going to allow you to create your own manga without drawing. It's going to have default backgrounds. You can use effects, characters, etc. That's super cool because, I feel like I'm a prime example of this. I have so many cool ideas, at least in my opinion, cool ideas for like manga stuff, but I can't draw worth a damn. And I have tried to teach myself and learn and practice. Nothing. can't do it. I suck. I'm good and just not doing it. So that, like, this is cool. You know, I hope it comes out for us to kind of get a chance to dabble in it and see what all it can do, see the different possibilities for it. Because when it comes to like any sort of creation, things like this, there's a lot of creative people out there. They can come up with a lot of shit because, you know, kind of a different topic here, different realm, but you know, they released that factory game, whatever, for Nintendo, where you can build your own games, whatever. After that came out, like, people were literally building complete versions of like NES games and Super NES games. Like, I'm talking like like Mario Kart on the SNES, Legend of Zelda was being recreated thanks to this Garage Builder, I think is what it was called. So, you know, just hearing that and knowing how creative people can be in so many different spaces, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of this. But another thing to look forward when it comes to this is there will be a contest that's going to be held where 2 winners can have their manga drawn by a couple of artists. Now, one of them, I did look into their background. They've had a few different works. I couldn't quote the series even if I tried, just because like it wasn't overly notable. No offense. You know, that is an option. But the other option, which I thought was super cool and a big W, is one of the artists that you can have chosen is the artist of Act Age. Just gonna unlock the core memory for people potentially. We haven't talked about Act Age in quite a while for obvious reasons. Act Age was doing very well in Shonen Jump, had an anime lined up, had a live action play lined up. Sales were doing phenomenal. And then the writer went and did some bad stuff, you know, involving children. So the series obviously got canned. Shonen Jump has just like completely ignored its existence. But that was one of those series where it had the writer and the artist, you know, both doing the work here. So, you know, as we talked about before, when all this was happening, we obviously felt for the artist because it's just like they just got shafted out of their job essentially. So the fact that they're going to be one of the potential options here for the contest winners to draw your manga, I think that is a massive win for them, because I know when all this happened with Act Age, even Shonen Jump was pushing, hey, you know, expect more work out of this artist in the future. You know, like, they were supporting the artist, trying to, you know, like, say, hey, we're going to get you back out here because you got shafted thanks to the writer and his poor decisions involving children, obviously. But boys, what's your thoughts on the World Maker app? You know, because like I said, I think this is super dope. I would love to see it come over here for us. I don't think it will, at least for a while, but I would love it. I think it'd be cool as shit.
I mean, I'll be curious to see what all comes out of it and things like that, because more or less what this just sounds like to me is just a manga generator app, like manga, a little bit, yeah. Manga maker, like there's tons of RPG makers and things like that, or game engines just for manga.
Right.
And I mean, I'll be curious about the contest thing, because it says have one of the 2 artists actually draw your manga. So are they just going to more or less take your initial concept from the app and then actually have to make new character designs and background art, or what? How's that going to work?
That's a good question. And one thing that was kind of to my understanding is that this is going to be, it is best, you know, to be pushed as aim to create a one shot. Don't aim to create like a chapter 1 of whatever, you know, where it's going to obviously leave off, you know, with this big cliffhanger for what's in chapter. No, design this as if it's a one shot, and that could potentially get it into a one shot, because when it comes to them drawing it, this shit's being published in the Shonen Jump Plus app. So this is something that us 3 are going to get to read is these people's creations. So, you know, that is a good point, is what do they need to do? Are they going to be working with the winners directly on like story and characters, et cetera? That'll be interesting to see. Josh, what about you? What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm super interested in this. As someone who, you know, went to college for art, who wanted to like make comic books and do animation and stuff like this is actually really cool and a really easy way to do that, because I mean, most people don't have the time or, you know, the skill to do it, and this is, you know, gives them a shot at doing it, because a lot of manga, you know, we forget isn't just about the art, it's about the story as well. And so this is more of a chance to give aspiring story writers, you know, a chance to get their foot in the door without having to, like, you know, submit the art along with it.
True.
And it's really cool. I would say, though, as far as release, it's probably going to be Japan only. I don't see them releasing it worldwide and then, you know, having a winner be from like America, because I don't know if any, you know, manga magazine has ever published an American-made manga.
That's a good question.
My knowledge.
Into that.
So
I'm pretty sure there is a North American one that's released, but I think it's mostly designated as comics here in America rather than manga, I believe. Because I know there was a magazine at one time. I'm not sure if it's still active, but I know there are some out here.
Well, I just meant as far as like Shonen Jump in particular. I don't know if they've only been like Japanese creators. I don't know if they've ever had like an American story, you know, aside from like when they adapt Deadpool. So I mean, if it was worldwide, it'd be even cooler.
True.
And it's kind of a really hype idea, even if it is just like a more or less a manga generator. I'm curious to see how much customization you could put in.
True.
Because I saw character models, but they seem to be blank. So I wonder if you could, you know, more or less model them how you want. If that'll be part of it too, and then they just take it directly from that and just kind of clean it up a little bit, or if there will be a lot of communication between the winners and the artists.
Right. And I will say one thing I just thought of in terms of the release thing. I could actually see it coming over to us after the winners are chosen.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, I just thought of that. I could definitely see it coming like worldwide after the 2 winners are chosen and they're set to be published. I could see it then coming worldwide. So hopefully that is the case, because I'm with you, Josh. It is really interesting, and it is pretty dope for people who have like such like a creative vision in their head for writing and whatever, but just can't really put it on paper. I'm a great example of that.
Yeah.
So that it would be really cool to see, and I'm with you. I'm interested to see what the kind of customization that is going to be involved with the app. So, I mean, overall, I think this is a big win. Shout out Shonen Jump, big win on them for sure. Looking forward to seeing what's all going to come out of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. When they announced this, like, you know, me and you saw it. We were texting each other, and we were like pretty hyped about it, because we both have ideas that, you know, can't really put pen to paper and draw it out, but you know, this would be a good chance to like get some of those ideas. Even if like we don't get to be in the contest, just a place to put it and actually have it, like that would be cool too. And like we could use that to create them, and you know, publish them online or something like that. That would actually be really cool too, using it as like a more or less a starter to like do that.
Right. No, I'm with you. Shout out to Sunio. One day it will be a thing. I promise you. I am determined. One day out of Sparky 3, we will be releasing our publications. Somehow, some way, it's going to happen. Don't give me that look, Zach. It's going to happen. I promise. I am dead set determined on this. Sunio is part of my legacy. I have worked on writing this for so long.
Well, when you get that figured out, I might not bankroll that one, so.
I don't need you to bankroll it. I got this. I got this, all right? We'll figure it out, I promise. All right, so let's hop over from there. Let's talk about some One Piece news. You know, Josh's favorite thing to talk about all the time. We got 2 things to talk about. Number 1, there was a little announcement here that One Piece will get a special announcement when episode 1000 is going to come out. And I believe that we got 989 is what we're about to review. So we're about 10, 11 weeks away from that. That's pretty cool, because I can probably assume, I think we all could, that is going to be potentially a movie announcement, because we already knew of some URLs that was created kind of linking and potentially pointing to a movie announcement. I'm not going to put a lot of money in that. Don't get too excited. Don't want to let people down if it ends up not being the case. That's just what I think it's going to be. And then the other thing that we had come out was there was a photograph of Oda working on, you know, just a One Piece manga, whatever, no big deal. And, you know, as part of like some, I believe some newspaper, you know, kind of celebrating that volume 100 is about to drop this month in September, part of the sales that we're about to start tracking. But in this photograph, there was a quote saying that the story is at its final stage for One Piece. And this is something that we've already heard before. It's something we've already talked about before on the show in the past, you know, sometime within the last year, of course, where One Piece has set where it's 5 years left to go. And, you know, they still seem to be doubling down on that, because not only did Oda say in this quote, you know, stories at its final stage, like the editor for One Piece also said that, you know, Oda Sensei said that, you know, there's only 5 years left of the story to tell. You know, and so they seem to still be sticking with that train. Obviously, that could change. I mean, Oda's obviously extended One Piece as long as it is now. But Josh, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, what's your thoughts on the possible announcement for episode 1000? Do you think it's going to be a movie? Do you think it's going to be something just kind of dumb? I mean, what do you think it's going to potentially be?
Yeah. I'll just hit these in order. So the announcement, it's teased as a special announcement, so I'm kind of curious. They've been doing a lot of stuff for the 24th anniversary. because we got the We Are series on YouTube going now. Monsters, which is I assume is kind of canon to One Piece, is getting its like voice comic done. I think it's releasing on the 9th. So there's no telling what it could be. It could possibly be a movie, as you know, the time frame kind of lines up for next year for there to be a One Piece movie. The other possibility is the game announcement. We know there's there's probably a One Piece game coming soon, and you know, episode 1000 would be a good time to kind of preview it.
True.
And you know, show it off, as it is the last big occasion of One Piece this year. So, as far as the photograph of Oda working on One Piece with the quote, reading One Piece as long as I have, you hear 5 years a lot, because 5 years turned into 10 years, and now we're at 24 years, because it was only supposed to end once they got to the Grand Line, and here we are, way past that.
Right.
So the fact that they're doubling down on the 5 years makes me curious if it's actually going to be 5 years.
Now I will say the editor, when he doubled down on it again, he did say that like the story, I mean, obviously this could change, obviously, as it has, but he did say the story for that 5 years is set. They said they know exactly where they're going, which we know. We've talked about that, where if anything would ever happen to Oda, you know, he's made it very clear this is where the story's going. So, I mean, you know, to tie into that with the doubling down, they did say that, hey, the story's set. We know what's happening. We know what's coming.
Yeah, and I saw that as well. Like the story is planned out from now to the end, and you know, everything that's going to be revealed, all that stuff already planned out when it's going to happen. But at the rate the manga's going, I think 5 years might be a stretch, because we've been in Wano for about 3 years now.
Has it been
so? 3? It's been a while. I remember this time last year, we were reading the Odin flashback. So we've been in Wano for a minute. So I can't see at the pacing we're going, which the pacing's not bad. Let me just stress that. But with, you know, what we have left that we've gotten from context clues from the manga, you know, there's quite a few things left. There's like a couple more islands, a big war, some, you know, other fights that need to happen, and all that. I don't really see 5 years being something that will happen. I mean, to bring up another point, Oda said at the beginning of the year that 2021 is going to be the year of Shanks, and we're going to see him making his move. And here we are in September of 2021, and we have yet to see Shanks. So
I didn't even know Oda said that about Shanks.
yeah, he kind of teased it at the beginning of the year. So I mean, he's got a few months left before, you know, we get there, and it's quite possible that this current arc could be wrapping up within the next 2 months. So it's highly possible, but I don't know. The 5 years thing, it's always been 5 years. I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket on that one.
Right. Yeah, we got probably almost 20 weeks left of the year, give or take. So I would definitely say, it's probably going to be wrapped up here in a couple of months. Is that going to be an exciting day for you, Josh, when it finally gets wrapped up?
What, Wano or the series?
Wano.
It just depends on how it goes. As it's going right now, it's really hype. It's the most hype One Piece has been in a long time. Like this final act in Wano. It just depends on, you know, what comes next. There's a lot of stuff that we're, as fans, are expecting. So it just, you know, how it all plays out.
Fair enough. You know, with the Shanks comment, like I said, I didn't even know about that. I feel like since it didn't end up happening this year, I think we can probably safely bet it'll be, I guess 2022 will be the year of Shanks, which will, all right, cool. Shout out to that.
I mean, you know, if we wrap up Wano, let's say by November, you know, let's be generous and say till November. I mean, there's still like 4 or 5 chapters before the end of the year that, you know, he could do it. And we could even have a break soon because, you know, the Revere happened between Acts 1 and 2. So
right.
It's possible, but I mean, we are 9 months into the year. So
Right. Shout out to that too. Year's gone by hella quick, which I mean, I don't really have a problem with that because I think 2022's got a lot of good stuff coming. So I'm ready to get 2022.
See, the only thing I can think about this you saying is the Year of Shanks, and there's an announcement that's going to happen about November. Giant recreation of the Red Dragon. Shanks' ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that? Well, they still have 2 statues left to put up too. I would.
Yeah. There's that too.
It'd actually be really funny if they did it like a giant model of Shanks' ship before they released the Robin and Zoro statues.
All right, guys. Well, let's hop over to some anime talks of the week. I know we got a lot of stuff to break down, and we'll kick things off with My Hero, I guess. My Hero Academia, episode 109. Of course, we are in the My Villain Academia arc right now. Still kind of following up on that. Josh, when we talked about it last week, we were talking about how this the arc already feels kind of lackluster, like it didn't have a lot of heart after the first episode compared to what the manga gave us, and I definitely feel the same way more in this episode. I feel like they didn't really do, and a lot of people, it's not just me. I've seen a lot of people really be critical about this, where Toga's backstory was not done justice. They did
not at all
2.5 chapters worth of her backstory into 5 minutes, more or less, is all it was.
Yeah.
Which really shafted the character. It still made you feel for the character, but not as much as it did in the manga. Boys, what are your thoughts on this? This episode being focused on pretty much, I'd say 90% Toga, and then Twice kind of came in at the end. That's where this big focus was. We did get to see a little tease of Shiggy and how much his power has evolved with the giant herd of people went to go attack him, and he only touched one, and his decay went to everyone, which also was then pointed out by Lizard Guy. I can't remember his name. He's just kind of irrelevant.
Spinner.
Thank you, Spinner. He's just kind of there. But, boys, what was your thoughts on this episode? How you guys feeling about just like Toga's backstory and stuff, like kind of getting shafted?
I mean, it was a nice refresh for me because I completely forgot that Toga got a power up during this whole thing.
Really? That was a big thing.
Well, yeah, but then we had the long ass next arc, and
fair.
And she didn't really get shit, so I completely forgot that she had a power up.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, that's about the best takeaway from it. I mean, this is the first Call of Dog Duty we're going to talk about today. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They're doing My Villain Academia dirty.
I agree.
It felt so rushed. Someone defended it and was like, Toga's backstory, it's not even finished yet. Like, her story isn't. So we can see more of the backstory, but they barely went into anything. Like, just hit the TLDR on it. And I was texting you, and I was like, this next backstory, they better put some effort into, because it's this entire character's fucking story, his motivations, his redemption. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that episode goes. It does look more promising than this one was, but My Hero doing the villains dirty.
It really is, man. It really isn't. Like we've kind of theorized and talked about. It's all because of the movie. They wanted to line up the Endeavor arc with the movie release. Is our safe assumption, but I mean, in my opinion, they are doing it dirty. We have 4 episodes left, and I feel like there's so much content that would need to be covered in those 4 episodes that I don't feel like would be covered to its fullest justice. This is so disappointing because, let's be honest, this is really the only miss in My Hero Academia. Let's be real.
Yeah.
This season, this arc especially, is the only miss in the entire series. Everything else is paced well. Everything else is done well. My Villain Academia just gets the shaft here, and it's just because of timing.
And we talked about it last week. My Villain Academia should have been the meat of this season.
Yeah.
It should have been mostly what this season was focused on instead of all the other shit that we focused on.
Right.
Like, there wasn't a need for a filler episode, because this episode could have gone on, one more episode and wouldn't have hurt it at all. It would have helped it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so sad.
It is, and we'll see how these remaining 4 episodes are treated. We'll see if we'll get to see maybe a follow up with Toga's backstory. I don't think so. Well, hopefully Twice's backstory won't get horribly shafted, and I don't know. We'll see how it continues to go. Like I said, this is really the only miss in the My Hero Academia anime. that we've had up to this point, in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people's joint opinions as well. But Josh, what about One Piece? What about One Piece 989? What do we have going on over there? Got anything good going on?
Oh, yeah. Before I move on, let's also say, let's hope they give Shigaraki's backstory a little more.
That's true.
Too, besides the fragments that we've gotten.
That's so true. I forgot about that. Yeah, we haven't actually touched on that yet, have we? Yeah, man, I hope we actually dive into that more, because obviously in the manga you actually get to read everything happens. I'm going to safely assume we get to see it, but man, they glossed the hell over that, didn't they? That's a good point.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, I can only assume the next episode is going to focus on each of them, because if I remember correctly, in this arc you have 4 characters that sort of get a moment. Toga twice, Spinner gets a small one, and then Shigaraki.
Yeah. God, man, I'm going to be livid if that's what we did with his backstory and just gloss over it. I will be livid.
Shigaraki's backstory could be an entire episode to itself.
Yeah, it could. So hopefully we don't. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So maybe, like I said, 4 episodes left. Maybe look at the very least, do that episode beautiful justice. Do that backstory beautiful justice, and I guess I'll call it good. Right? I'll call the season good. Just do that one. Do me one favor with that one backstory, and we'll call it good. All right, Josh, what about One Piece? What do we got going on?
All right. We got a lot going on in One Piece.
Red bean soup?
Not really. Yeah. So what I've started to do with One Piece is I've been taking notes and then comparing it to the manga. So
more prepared than me?
Yeah. So so this episode is basically not quite a shot-for-shot adaptation of 982, but close enough that we'll call it good. Because it ends up being lots of filler. So we get Cat Viper and Marco on their way to Onigashima discussing, Marco's telling Cat Viper that, he doesn't have to give that letter to Luffy anymore because now he's here, which the letter says, I might be a little late, but I'll be there. Which ultimately means nothing, because at that point he's there when you see that. I'm not going to say this dude's name. I'm going to butcher it. But the ninja with the earlobes tells Orochi that Luffy, Zoro, and Kid and Killer have infiltrated Onigashima, and that's the first time that Kaido and Orochi have heard that news. So obviously they're not too hype about it. And in response, Orochi decides to execute Momo. So that'll be something that may or may not happen soon. We get an extended scene of Jinjuro meeting Sasaki outside of the gates that were unmapped, so they couldn't get through it. Obviously, Sasaki, being one of the Toby Robo, came out there and everyone kind of freaked out. But Jinjuro was like, "No, I got this. We're good." And then ends up tying him to a tree. And then the real part of this episode, which when I went back and checked the manga, was literally only one panel. But it was Chopper and Usopp encountering Big Mom. They're driving the Brachio tank over the bridge, and we see Big Mom's shadow in one of the windows, and she just busts out, and everyone jumps in the water. Which I want to note, one of the people that jump into the water is Kinemon, and he doesn't drown, because Kinemon has a devil fruit, and obviously if you have a devil fruit, you can't swim. But right. He's just he doesn't drown, which is insane to me. So maybe he's got a discount devil fruit. Anyway. So Big Mom looks out the window. She sees Chopper, and Chopper's asking Usopp what to do. Usopp's like, I don't know, just hide. And so Chopper declares that he's on patrol, making sure that the festival's safe, and Big Mom just accepts it, which kind of stuns everybody that Big Mom stared Chopper right in the face and just accepted what he said. And then about it feels like it took Big Mom a couple minutes. For us, it was only a couple of seconds. She's like, wait, I know them. I know who that is. Which starts this big, and it's all filler pretty much. This big fight between Usopp and Chopper in the Brachio tank versus Big Mom, where some of the Animal Kingdom pirates come in and start firing trench mortars at this tank, and it's just this whole big fan service fight where Chopper's got a missile launcher and all this stuff, stuff that shouldn't exist.
So what you're telling me is it's literally just an end episode for Chopper and Usopp fans because they apparently haven't done shit in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're driving this tank around like blowing up these trench mortars and all this stuff. Like Chopper like jumps out the top with a rocket launcher and starts firing missiles. And then
picturing Chopper with a rocket launcher fucking kills me.
It's probably fucking adorable.
I'm gonna look it up.
And then we get to Big Mom, who's a tactical expert at destroying tanks because obviously there's so many in the One Piece world.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Immediately realizes or immediately knows that the weak point to any tank is an above attack. So she grabs what looks like a rocket, a missile, something like that, and goes for it's like a I don't remember the name of the move, but basically she just throws herself in the air and falls down on the tank with this missile to try to create like a nuclear bomb, which was fucking weird because it didn't even work. And so then that ends. Then it cuts to Nami, Shinobu, and Carrot. They're out looking around. They break off from the group and hold on, let me find the note. Oh, you hear Zeus from Nami's commentat go, watch out. And then you hear, I found you, the girl who kidnapped Zeus, which is Prometheus. So that starts the next fight. The next fight should be Nami, Shinobu, and Carrot versus Big Mom. And then it ends with Ulti and Page One kind of bantering down a hallway. And Ulti is telling Page One that she can't walk, so she needs to be carried. And then ends up just jumping on his back, which causes him to like slide down some stairs and fall right in front of Luffy, who just is like, who the hell are you guys? So that's how that episode went.
Well, it sounds like the best thing that came out of that is Chopper with a rocket launcher.
Did you Google it?
No. Well, yes, but I did not find it. That was what I meant by no.
Yeah.
See, the best thing they could have done with this episode was just end with that whole fight with Chopper and Usopp and Big Mom and just do Metal Slug Tactics.
God damn it. Okay, well, what about Dragon Quest? We got 46 and 47. Zach, how close was I on my 46 review?
I mean, no.
Fuck. I feel like I was taking some good shots in the dark there.
I mean, it was a pretty lackluster
But I at least got Pop being a bitch was right?
Yeah.
All right, well, shout out to that. I got one thing right.
That's setting the bar too low, though. That's every episode,
shut up,
right?
Josh. Shut up, Josh. Let me have this, all right? This is my moment.
Because 46 was focusing mostly on Pop, Crocodile, and Chew going to rescue Dai, who was defeated by Hadlar. And last thing I remember, he got punched through some icebergs and landed in the water.
Okay.
But we find out, and to the point where Crocodile and Pop jump in this Arctic fucking ocean to search for Dai in the sea. Because last time Pop saw Dai, he went in the fucking sea. And it turns out Dai's not in the sea. He's in the middle of a goddamn iceberg, which has no openings on it. But he got into the damn iceberg somehow. But it has no opening where he came through. Because last I checked, icebergs don't freeze over in fucking hours to close off an entire damn hole. Yeah, Pop eventually jumps out of the water saying it's cold as shit. Crocodile comes out, sort of just shakes himself off. He's like, we can't find him. So they do the only thing we also have a little moment with the rat. He didn't want to dive in the water, so he convinced another monster to go search by telling the monster a lie that he would get him food. The monster didn't find Dai, and the guy didn't have food, so the monster shocked him. So they don't find Dai, so what do? They start yelling for Dai in hopes that he'll hear them. Magically, Dai hears them and goes, "Oh, Sword, you saved me. With the last of my power, I'll give him a signal." And uses his dragon power to destroy the fucking iceberg he is in. And I'm just like, you have enough power to set off a beacon that anyone in the damn area can see, but you can't use it to break open a way for you to walk out of the iceberg. Cool. So yeah, they go and grab Dai, then as they're leaving, they get attacked by Zaboera, Legion of the Mystic commander who tries to attack him. He gets shafted by Hadlar's new minion, one of his new minions, because Hadlar's now created orichalcum soldiers, which is the strongest metal that Dai's sword is made out of. He's made soldiers out of chess pieces given to him by King Vern, and now they're his units. Dude beats up the Zabuera, lets the others go, because Hadlar wants to fight him fairly, and peace out, and they return to the castle. Then episode 47 is just a training episode. Literally everyone just goes and trains. Mam goes finds a waterfall. Pop goes to his master. Hunkel and Dai, even though they're still injured, go and meet the Dark Elf Smith who made both their weapons, which he's mad at them because they both don't know how to use their weapons probably and damaged them due to their improper use. So he picks up a sword and proceeds to train them by beating the shit out of them. Mam trains by finding a waterfall, punching said waterfall to create a big hole, and then proceeding...
Wait, she punched a waterfall?
She punched a waterfall.
Okay.
Which it doesn't end there. She punches a waterfall to cause the water to split and splatter, and then all the water that comes out and splashes off, she then proceeds to punch all the droplets.
Why?
Because she can get faster. Thus, if she gets faster, she can punch harder, was her logic.
That's stupid.
It was accepted.
That's so stupid.
Crocodile wouldn't trade. I don't understand what the fuck Crocodile would have did. Literally, it was a shot of Crocodile and Chew together, and they're in front of a giant ocean where a whirlpool's havoc, and all it has is Crocodile going, Chew, I'll need you to help me. And he's just carrying this long-ass chain in his hands. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, Crocodile? It later reveals that he goes in the water and he does something. He's got the chain attached to him, and where there was one water pool, there's now two water pools. And then the one water pool disappears, and he comes out of the ocean. She was like, you did it. And he's just like, it's merely a theory at this point. I still got more to do. I'm still going, what are you doing? And Pop goes to his master and learns the ultimate spell, Medora, which is an annihilation spell, which Pop's master's great. He goes, I'm going to show you the greatest spell, the strongest spell. It's a natural balance of fire and ice magic. You crash it together to make this nice annihilation bow and fire its power. He sets it all up, does it, shows Pop, and they're standing in front of each other. So Pop's on the other end of him, and he's just like, all right, I'm now going to shoot this at you. You'll either learn this or die.
Figure it out. Sink or swim.
Pop goes, oh God, I need to run. Which for some reason I've realized with Pop is Pop can't just naturally do something. It always has to be like a do or die moment for me, because everything in this series he's done, it's either I'm going to run away, then he has an epiphany moment of, but I can't run away. Because if I run away, every time, back when he fought Crocodile, back when he was in the forest and got wrecked by Hadlar and Zabuera, back whenever he decided he needed to try and rescue Dai and escape, he has this moment, this epiphany moment every time is, I can't run. I was like, God damn it, Pop. Yeah, Pop learns the spell. He doesn't learn it properly, but he learns the spell.
Well, that's a start.
Which continues my theory of Pop's the best goddamn magician ever, because he just sees spells and uses it. Has a nice moment between Pop ogling over Mam, because there's still something there. And yeah, no, that was the training episode.
Oh, okay. One day this series will end for you.
Well, we're getting close to the end of everything they've shown in the new opening.
Oh.
Or the second opening.
Air quotes.
Which I forgot to even mention what I complained about originally. They did change the opening, but they only changed the second half of the opening. The first half of the opening's still the same. So yeah, we're on like the last little things of that.
Okay, I got you. Well, one day Dragon Quest will reach the end of the road for you. What about Tokyo Avengers episode 21? We're almost to the end of the road of season 1 of this series. We only have 3 episodes left. 22, 20, 3 episodes left. Of course, we're still we're at the tail end of Bloody Halloween here. At the end of episode 20, we get to see that Baji kind of falls to his knees and kind of figures it out at the beginning of this episode that, oh shit, he was actually stabbed. Oh shit. And then this episode, everyone out there, as watching Tokyo Avengers and haven't read it or anything, you're watching it for the first time, you got to see how much of a fucking Chad Baji is in this episode. Like an absolute fucking unit of a human being that just absolutely cares for his friends so much. Because I mean, the stab that he got from Kazutoro in episode, I think it was the beginning of episode 20, right?
It was the previous episode.
Yeah, so episode 20 got stabbed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when he got stabbed, this is obviously a pretty serious injury. I mean, it's Takamichi and stuff's like, oh, that's a mortal wound there. It's like fatal wound there. It's like, yeah, we got some problems there. Kazutoro is obviously the one that stabbed him. Mikey's kind of losing his shit and is borderline going to kill Kazutoro. He's basically about to do it at this point, and then Baji tries to basically stop them, right? And one thing that he does that makes him just an absolute fucking beast of a human being, this dude fucking stabs himself in the stomach to kill himself.
Oh no, it's not even that he just stabs himself. Like, Mikey is literally beating Kazutoro's face into the ground, and Baji just gets up and just like, Mikey, you care about me. Walks down from the junk pile in front of him, and it's just like, you don't have to worry, Mikey. I'll always live. And turns to Kazutoro, you don't have to worry. You didn't kill me. I did.
Yes. Stabs himself in the stomach just so Kazutoro won't carry the guilt that he killed him because of how much he cares about Kazutoro and he cares about his friends. He doesn't want to see Mikey fucking beat the shit out of Kazutoro and kill him. And, in his dying words, he says this to Takamichi and Chifuya that, hey, me, Payan, Draken, Mitsuya, Mikey, Kazutoro, the founding members of Tomen, like they're my treasures. Like they are like my best friends. I care about them. I love them to death. I don't want them to feel, guilty. I don't want Kazutoro to feel bad for me dying, whatever, et cetera. I mean, this dude is an absolute beast. Baji's a great character. He does pass on in this episode, and it is nice because I do like series that will kill characters off to help progress and add to the story. I'm a big fan of that, honestly. But at the same time, I wish we could have gotten more out of Baji in the series in general. You know what I mean? Because like these couple of episodes really throw like such an insane light on Baji, where it's like he immediately becomes like a lot of people's favorite character. Like almost instantly. Because, throughout this whole thing, you also kind of find out in this episode, and it was also kind of like, talked about, in last episode, but this episode especially was really kind of driven home that Baji, was actually undercover and he was fighting on his own, trying to figure this out on his own. He didn't want someone to help him like Chifuya. So that's why he really played this villain part and says to Takamichi that Kisaki is the enemy. He is not the captain of the 3rd Division. Payan is. You know what I mean? It was a phenomenal episode. Absolutely incredible. Boys, what's your thoughts? Also, let's shout out to the fact that how the episode ended as well, which I do want to give a shout out to. Man, beautiful touch to the animation at the end with Mikey's eye. That was a very nice touch because that is in the actual manga panel of where it's the close up of Mikey's face and you see like the almost like where it looks like he's gonna cry like in his actual pupil, like waves almost. That's actually in the manga panel. Nice touch adding that into the anime, absolutely. But that being whenever he finds a charm on the ground that Takamichi dropped, which then when Mikey picked it, he's like, "Where did you get this?" It's like I found it at our last meeting, whatever. I picked it up, and then Mikey and Mitsuya and Draken's just like, wait a minute, that's the charm when we founded Tomen. But then it's like Baji's held on to this the entire time. But it was a phenomenal episode, boys. What's your thoughts on it?
Overall, it was very good. Having a nice wrapping up of Bloody Halloween, Baji's moment, the whole Takamichi being the crybaby hero. True. He is. Because even after Baji's dying in Chifuya's arms, Mikey proceeds to punch the shit out of Kazutoro again. Yep. Which leads to Mikey or Takamichi after Baji tells him he's leaving Tomen to him and to protect his treasures. Takamichi just throwing himself in front of Mikey to keep Kazutoro alive, and then Mikey proceeding to punch Takamichi till he sees the charm. So. Yeah. What about you, Josh? How you feeling on it, man?
It was a really good episode. It was adapted really well. It was nice seeing that Baji Chad moment. True. We were waiting on that one. That'll never be not great. because it was amazing. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a flashback soon?
Is there a flashback? I can't remember, honestly. Drawing a blank.
I think there is.
Is there going to be a flashback in these next 3 episodes? It's a great question. I don't remember. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of is maybe the actual forming of Toman, because you referenced it, but I don't think it's actually shown in the anime yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, could just be that. I think that might be what you're referring to. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another moment in that one where Baji's amazing. This is why I'm shouting it out. So.
Okay.
I wish Baji was around longer.
Yeah, I do too. You know, I do too. Like I said, it's one of those things where with how little we got of Baji, he immediately becomes like a lot of people's favorite character in just 3 episodes. Basically, is all it really took to really deliver just how great of a character that he is. With 3 episodes left, I am still very curious where this season's going to end exactly. You know, because as I've mentioned before, I mean, Tsukimichi will go back to the future. So where's it going to, with 3 episodes left, you know, we still have a couple of events that are going to take place before he would even do that, right? So it's like, is this season going to end with the handshake of him going back, and the next season picks up when he gets to that future, or are we going to get to see what that future is? With 3 episodes, man, I'm very curious how it's going to go. With, I don't know, with where we're at right now, I'm kind of somewhat a little bit inclined to think that the future we're going to get to see may not be till the next season.
Based on what's still left to happen, I believe it'll probably end with Tsukimichi shaking hands with Naoto to go back to the present for him.
And yes, Josh, you're right. That has not been animated, and that is right. That will probably be one of the next couple episodes, yeah?
Yeah.
With Chifuya and Baji's kind of backstory and how they met and became best buds and stuff. So, yeah, that is true.
But that particular panel is what I'm referencing. Like that whole like interaction. Right. I thought it looked hilarious.
Well, hopping over from there, To Your Eternity, episode 20, the season finale. I don't have to feel this pain every single week anymore. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this episode made me cry. I ain't even gonna lie about it. I just ain't. When it went down and we got to the part, I cried. I did.
The part?
The part.
The part.
The part.
Which part?
You know what part?
You do?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I did.
It's the part.
Yeah, it's the part. Let's get it together now. No, it did make me cry. I ain't even gonna lie. Like once we got to the ending of the episode and what happened with Pyron, I did cry 100%. Great episode though. It was a very emotional like episode. It really was. Where Fushi was like so in and out of where. If he wanted to just go ahead and leave without saying anything, he's just, oh, well, no, she's going to get cold. Oh, no, she needs food. Oh, no, I want to leave a letter, whatever. Where him and Payan did end up kind of coming together, and they began to travel together travel together again. They had kind of a codes like where the man in black would warn them when the Nokers would be anywhere nearby, and they would just run and bounce, whatever, blah, blah. But it definitely was a very emotional episode, seeing how things kind of progressed with Payan, especially where she just continued to kind of go downhill mentally. Pioran, thank you.
You keep saying Payan. I'm just like, she's not a big white dude who's in middle school.
Sorry. Her mental state just continued to go downhill all episode long. Obviously.
Yeah, no, that sort of hurt watching Pioran fall into dementia pretty much.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, when you do have that one moment where she's conscious of her regular state of mind.
Right.
And sends Fushi away to talk to the man in black.
Yeah. And once again, we got the request that she made to him, which still doesn't have a payoff. It just happened. I'll just go ahead and say it up front. There's no payoff to that. See,
the only thing I can speculate about that is because she asked to become something useful to Fushi, and seeing it animated was much more noticeable. He had one of the orbs he released for Fushi. So possibly she's going to come back as whatever Fushi is at some point.
Well, that happens. It hasn't happened yet. I'll go ahead and spoil that. I don't care. It hasn't happened yet. So we'll see. Josh, what about you, man? How did you feel on this?
It was a really good episode. As someone that worked in healthcare before, especially with like the elderly people, like seeing the progression into mental decline was really heartbreaking because that's almost exactly how it happened. It's how it happened to my grandmother. So, that was really, emotional to watch. And then, Fushi's reactions to all of it too are, pretty spot on, because when you do have someone close to you like that does go into a mental decline, like, you don't want to accept it. And Fushi didn't want to accept it. And, he bared with it because he didn't think it was, actually happening. So yeah, and then, when that happened, that was super, super heartbreaking.
True. And, Josh, you diving into that with, kind of like your work history and seeing that firsthand, I'll also double down on that, where it's just like, that's also one reason why the episode was so impactful to me personally, because it's something that I feel like I kind of experienced day to day, week to week with my great grandmother who raised me. So, that's where it was kind of impactful for me too, is just kind of seeing that in this episode, seeing it all kind of played out and kind of mirroring it with my real life experiences. So, overall, it was a very gut wrenching type of episode, really pulled at your heartstrings. Good way to end the season. Ended right around where I thought it was going to, and now we're gearing up for the next season, which the end of this episode did tease, obviously, that it had been decades later now, and we see a matured version of Fushi, which obviously indicates he has not transformed in some time, and that's just where the episode just kind of cold cuts there and just says, hey, I will say they said planned for fall 2022, so could potentially get moved back. We'll see,
or move forward.
Also true. We'll see. What about Tsukimichi episode 9? Josh, I know you're glad to have Zach back for this.
Yeah, I actually really am. I butchered it so much last week.
Well, Josh, you did such a good job last week. I was just going to let you handle it.
Okay. All right. Shut up. Josh, it's all you, man.
Oh. Well, I do. I remember the funny part. So I remember when Tom Way and Mio were about to bang
it out.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Oh.
Yeah, literally. They confine him to the bed and start taking their clothes off.
Oh.
They're like, you haven't blossomed yet, but we're gonna help you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add context to this.
No.
So context here is the young master was walking the streets. He had just done a bunch of stuff to set up his merchant business, and he's just walking in a haze, just sort of walking, and suddenly a purse comes at him.
Purse?
Yeah, a purse.
Okay.
And he dodges it, and he's just like, oh, helps a kobold pick it up, and then some lady just comes up to him, some blonde, busty lady comes up, she's just like, oh, you're such a sweet guy for helping him. I don't have any customers right now. If you want, we can do something. And as she's offering herself to him, Tomoe and Mio show up, drag his ass away, and back to the inn. It's just like, we understand you're a late blossomer, so we've been trying to seduce you, but not be too pushy. But if you're buying prostitutes, enough is enough. They seal off both the doorway and windows. Tomoe throws out a pink mist to set the mood, and they begin to strip. And he proceeds to panic and summon blocks of ice to tell him to cool off and run away.
Yep.
Also, I want to take a quick moment for Zach to quickly have the floor and give a little shout out to how well Josh did last week with explaining Tsukimichi. Tell everyone what you told me.
I couldn't remember what episode.
Well, Josh, when you were doing that and you were saying, I couldn't remember if it was the episode that Tomoe trained Toei's party or it's the episode where they had the tournament fight. That was the same episode.
You gave it your best shot, man.
So you said that.
Didn't know that.
He said that, and I was listening. I was like, he just described the same episode. That happened in the same episode. That was literally this episode.
Was it the episode did I get the right episode, though, is the question?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, good. So I at least...
Yeah, because for the context for people, Josh just watched the latest 2 episodes back to back, the one from the week before and the newest one. So going into it, when he had to explain it, he had no idea which episode was which because they just blurred together. So hey, shout out, you got the latest episode.
Hence the notes.
Yep, that's where the notes now come in. I probably need to start taking notes. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I probably should.
Besides the whole slight that was happening to the young master, we had the introduction of elves. They are protecting a field of flowers. Tomoe and Mio take a moment, step aside, and allow the rest of the village and the demi-plane to talk to the young master, and because they have a whole big festival for him setting up his own merchant group. And it sort of has a moment just everyone talk to him and him interacting with all the people, his people.
Spider people?
Yes, actually.
Oh, fuck.
Well, all the main spider people are now full human forms now, so.
I don't like that.
Oh, well, you'll never know.
That's good. That's the way it needs to stay.
So we have a nice little moment where we find out Tomoe's little self is connected to Tomoe. So he head pats the small Tomoe, and the regular Tomoe fills in and has a whole moment of Tomoe being blushing and then Mio being sad because she wants to be small and head pat. The rest of the people interact with them. They do reports and things like that. Then we have a nice little moment for the first half of the episode where Tomoe and Mio are sort of just chilling, and then they both panic, shouting something about the young master dying. And they come to realize he's at an archery range, and he apparently can take his consciousness and focus it between where he is and the target and makes himself disappear, more or less killing himself, and then bring himself back, which more or less kills himself and more or less commits suicide. But by doing that, it increases his mana.
Well, shout out to a mana increase, I guess.
So he's already stupidly strong, and he is now on the level of a goddess in terms of mana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which it was also showed by his little rings that are supposed to kill somebody with how much mana they sucked up. They immediately went from white to red. So had that nice little moment of how he's powering up without actually fighting anything. Then we have the whole Tomoe and Mio gonna him. He runs back to his demi-plane only to get there and get a change of clothes, which now he has his nice little coat connected to his rings, which is all supposed to drain his mana, but it's still not strong enough. Mm-hmm. Him and Mio go to investigate some flowers that he had them go search for, and which is in the forest of the elves, where you have a couple things happen. They find the flowers. Mio and him go on a little date. And
romantic.
Yes. They're being followed by adventurers, which is being led by the blonde girl who tried to seduce him the previous evening. They meet the elves. One of them's very quirky. The other one just wants to defend the forest and kill humans. Mio gets pissed at them because her and young master were holding hands, but because of them, they interrupted their interaction, which caused the young master to pull his hand away. And Mio got super pissed because she counted the seconds of 31 seconds holding his hand, and she was ready to murder the said elves because they interrupted, and she only had 31 seconds to hold his hand.
If you ever want to hear a red flag, people, someone counting the seconds they're holding your hands, that's a red flag. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there right now. That is a red flag.
And that sort of ends the episode of the elves attacking him running away, and about to retaliate with Mio in a blood rage.
Oh, okay. All right. Shout out to the red flag. What about Reincarnated Slime, episode 45?
Josh?
All you, man.
Well, I know. I'm not going to give any context because, I've been watching this for a while, and we're like almost done with season 2. So, but in this episode, it was the continuation of Rimuru's forces versus Clayman's forces, in which Shuna and I forget the other two names, the Ninja Ogre and the Swordsman Ogre.
What happened to your notes?
Soe and I want to say Kentaro.
Kentaro does sound right.
Roll with it.
Anyway, they start infiltrating Clayman's castle, in which they encounter one of Clayman's fingers, the index finger, I believe, which is Alderman.
Yes.
Who basically has like an army of the dead with him, and so basically sticks the army on Shuna and the two guys, and luckily enough, there's a swordsman zombie, which like I said, don't know his name. So Master Swordsman Ogre fights him. Then again, don't know his name. Ninja Ogre Soe is the ninja.
Yeah.
I didn't take notes on the names. I thought I had it. Anyway, it's Law's backstory all over again.
Yeah, it's Law's backstory. Yeah. We'll never let you live that down.
I'll never let me live that down. Anyway, he's fighting a death dragon in which he tries to kill it and then makes the astute realization that a death dragon has a resistance to death, so can't die. So he decides he's gonna just instead of killing its body is going to kill its soul, which then reveals that Alderman has all the souls inside of him. And thus starts the battle between Alderman and Shuna.
There you go.
Yeah. In which they're, both fighting with magic. Alderman's attack, they're pretty corpsey. I forgot to mention this dude's a skeleton. So they're pretty
I want to add some context there. His name is Alderman, and he's also wearing cleric robes and using death magic.
I was getting to that though. I was getting to that because that's the build-up. Like he's using pretty basic undead moves.
You didn't describe him at all. You just said his name's Alderman and he's a skeleton.
Look, we just didn't want to have another situation where you're going to dodge some important detail like the hippo death.
Ooh, I'm building up to it. I'm building up to it as it's revealed in the show. It's like, his clothes
you
don't really
first
matter.
see him in his cleric clothes.
Yeah, but like, who knows that it's cleric clothes? I didn't, for one, until he starts to fight with Shuna, and Shuna's using basically holy magic, and he's like thinking to himself the entire time, like, I thought monsters couldn't use holy magic. I want to use holy magic back from when I was alive and could use holy magic, in which Shuna points out that he was a clergyman, and that's why he's kind of hateful because he's dead and doesn't think he can use his power anymore. Which apparently, if you believe enough, you can. Which is the whole point of that magic. See, that's where I was going with it. I was building it up.
Well, yeah, you were. Well, we just, like I said, we just didn't want to have another hippo death situation because you left almost the most important part of that with the hippo death back in the day.
We would not have that joke if I hadn't asked him, how'd they die?
Shout out to that, man. Shout out to the hippo death on ReZero.
Shout out. So Shuna ends up winning her holy magic, ends up countering what I guess I believe Alderman uses holy magic. It's that pretty much obliterating one that he uses earlier in the season. Her magic's powerful enough that it totally reflects it and destroys all the zombies, in which we realize, or we are told, that the zombies are only there because their curse was put on them, and they couldn't move on.
Hey Josh, I do want to interrupt on one moment because this is something that I don't know if they may come back to in the next couple episodes, but I doubt it considering what the content's coming up. But what it doesn't reveal that is actually revealed at this point in both the light novel and the manga is Shuna's gift she got from Rimuru becoming a demon lord. Yeah. Her gift is actually, because her only magic she has is healing, but her gift allows her to create whatever magic she wants.
See, that has not been revealed at all.
Yeah, no.
We just got...
I'm mentioning this because it's during that fight that it actually is revealed.
Yeah, see, it wasn't revealed in the fight. Like, we literally just got Benimaru's, his gift from Rimuru becoming a demon lord, which is the whatever general one it was.
Incorrect.
Where basically, no,
it didn't reveal it. He mentions that he could use it, but he doesn't have time to waste to use it.
Well, I guess more or less. I mean, he reveals that what the name of his gift is, at least. Because I don't think before that anyone's has really been revealed aside from what Rimuru gained from, and I think Veldora. Anyway,
Shion becomes a master chef.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. That was actually really good.
She cooks, as long as she has an image of what it should be, regardless of how it looks, it's going to taste how she imagines it.
Oh, that's great.
How it's revealed is because she's a horrible chef, and it's like the running joke through the entire thing. And so Benimaru and Rimuru have to eat some of her cooking, and it looks fucking gross. There's like eyeballs in it, like the vegetables aren't even peeled, like it's green. It's like
to
the
give
bad
you a
food.
Clear idea of this, Alex. Hitman Reborn, the poison.
Yeah, Go-Gettera's older sister. Okay,
yeah.
All right, I got
That's
you.
what it was.
Got you.
I was gonna say the dubious food from Breath of the Wild too.
Also, that would have worked too. I love the Hitman Reborn reference. Shout out to that.
So yeah, they eat it and then realize it tastes really good. And so like, good, I made enough for seconds. And like, even though it tastes good, it still looks horrible. Yeah. So after the fight, Alderman's still there, except he's not a bad guy anymore. Oh, that was another important thing that I totally glossed over, and Zach, you didn't remind me either, is that Alderman's cursed and he can't break that curse, and that's something Shuna's mocking him for through the entire fight is that he's not even strong enough to break that puny curse.
Well, because the whole point of him being cursed is pointless, because the curse gets broken by Shuna, and then that starts the cult of Rimuru.
Yeah, because he asked who she worships that give her so much faith, and she's like, well, I don't really worship the great Rimuru, but I can introduce you to him. And he's just kind of fangirling over that. His eyes like light up literally. And then after that, we start entering into, and I'm going to butcher this name, but Walpurgis.
Are you trying to say walrus?
No, Walpurgis.
No. Yeah.
Walpurgis.
Their names are kind of weird.
Josh, if you'll allow me, I'm going to speed run through the rest of it if you'll allow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it just does an introduction to the meeting of all the Demon Lords, shows everyone entering, sort of having interactions. We get to see all the Demon Lords for the first time through the entire series. And there is a nice little moment before then of Veldora and Remorus introducing a couple of them before they go to the meeting. And just ending off with Clayman entering at the end with everyone and just going, let's start. And then, forget his name, Leon Cromwell. The guy who was the one who summoned Shizu and put Infant in her, going, I'm going to invite you to my castle if you live through this.
Yeah. Before that, there's an interaction between Rimuru and Leon where Rimuru's like, I really want to just punch you in the face. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to let that happen, but if you have a problem with me, you can come to my castle.
That's fantastic. Whenever you just come up to someone and say, I just really want to punch you in the face. I get that feeling a lot. What about Eden Zero episode 20? I failed to watch this. I thought I did. I realized halfway through the day, oh shit, I didn't watch it. Well, don't have time to watch it now. So what happened? What went down? Anything overly exciting?
No, it's fairly lackluster. It was the mines.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, them going down to the mines and finding out about that stuff and Madame Kurenai.
Gotcha, okay.
Oh, and then Rebecca being tricked by what's-her-name and getting the slime dumped on her. And Anime will save the universe.
Wait, what now?
Anime will save the universe.
Oh, okay.
You remember that guy?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah. It's just the introduction of the mines is pretty straightforward. It kind of sets up where we're going to go with the remaining, I think it's 4 more episodes or so. Yeah. So what was everyone's favorite episode of the week? I'm going to go with To Your Eternity. I had to. If it draws out that much emotion in me, I had to. And the second would definitely be Tokyo Avengers, though.
Tsukimichi.
Yeah.
Fair.
To Your Eternity gets number 1 for me.
Okay. All right, well, let's hop over to some manga stuff here. We'll kick things off with Manga Sales, continuing to track the Weekly Shonen Magazine volumes we've been tracking, which has like Blue Lock, Ace of the Dawn, Part 2, Fire Force, for examples. I believe this is going to be the last week, the final update for the August volumes that we've been tracking, which has like My Hero Academia Volume 31, Dr. Stone Volume 22, Mashal Volume 7, just a couple examples. But once again, friendly reminder for like the 3rd week in a row, we record on Thursdays. These updates have been dropping on Fridays. So with that said, here's a little bit of me going through the sales numbers right here. Hello. That time again, Manga Sales, let's get into it. Weekly Shonen Magazine volumes, this is the 2nd week for this bunch that we're tracking right now. This dated for 8/22. Blue Lock Volume 15, 124K sold. Ace Diamond Part 2, Volume 28, 123K sold. Fire Force Volume 30, 115K. Rent a Girlfriend Volume 22, 97K. Bakemono Gatari Volume 14, 70K. Shangri-La Frontier Volume 5, 65K. Girlfriend Volume 7, 57K. Smile Down the Runway Volume 22, 45K. Sitokai Yukidomo Volume 21, 38K. To Your Eternity Volume 16 with 26K. And My Charms Are Wasted on Korowa Midaka Volume 1, 24K. Smarter and wiser than we were last week, people. That's all that matters. Let's keep on growing. Next up, the final week that we're going to be tracking for these August volumes for Weekly Shonen Jump. We're about to jump into the September volumes now. Really exciting stuff there. So this is dated for 8/29, week 4 of this bunch. Coming in at the top, we got My Hero Academia Volume 31, 634K copies sold. Dr. Stone Volume 22, 229K copies sold. Mashal Volume 7, 140 45K copies sold. Elusive Samurai Volume 2, 88K copies sold. Kind of shocked that didn't hit 100K like Volume 1 did. That one's kind of shocking. Looking forward to see what Volume 3 will do. I believe that's in November. But yeah, kind of shocked that one didn't hit 100K. Blue Box Volume 1 was 65K. Of course, that one has had some reprint issues. It's had some out of stocks and stuff. So I would anticipate Volume 2 to be a lot better in sales for that one. Let's look forward to that. Ayakashi Triangle Volume 5, 66K. And lastly, Magu-chan Volume 5, Candy Flurry Volume 1, and Ball Parade Volume 2. All not ranked. Candy Flurry at this point is 1,000% on the chopping block between just the sales numbers and how the pacing of the latest chapters have been. But I mean, overall, pretty solid sales numbers. I did, obviously notice, and as everyone did, that My Hero Academia Volume 31, while selling 600K copies in a month, is absolutely phenomenal. I definitely feel like it kind of staggered because it had such a hot start there for the first week or two, where it hit 500K super quickly, and then it struggled to kind of get up from there. I was anticipating this to be a million copy seller, which I believe Volume 30 was. I could be wrong, but that kind of staggered a little bit. I mean, still, it's obviously a phenomenal number, so can't mock that. Blue Box, with 65K again, out of stock issues, reprint issues, going on with that one. So hopefully with Volume 2 for Blue Box, we're going to see some better sales numbers. Other than that, I think that's about it. So that's it. Back to the show. Oh, boom. All right, and we are back. All right, so next little thing I want to give a shout out to is we do have the announcement for what's coming out in November for Weekly Shonen Jump. We know that Dr. Stone Volume 23, Sakuma Days Volume 4, High School Family Volume 4, Elusive Samurai Volume 3, Witch Watch Volume 3, Red Hood Volume 1, and Niru Volume 1. Very excited to see how Red Hood and Niru is going to do. Also kind of worried about it too. I am worried about how Red Hood's going to do. Hearing so many mixed things right now, but we won't be able to find out till November on the sales unless they decide to just go ahead and kind of like axe it early or something. All right, next up, let's go through what is the top 5 in Japan right now. This was dated for the 30th. Coming in at number 1, Kaguya Wants to Tell You Genius Love Brain Battle, Volume 23. What the hell is that? I do not know, but it was number 1. Horse Daughter, Cinderella Gray. What the hell is that? I do not know. Volume 4 is number 2. Black Lagoon Volume 12 is number 3. Blue Lock Volume 15 is number 4. And Oshi no Ko Volume 5 is number 5. And I believe that was the one that won it won an award that we just talked about last week or the week before. I think it was the week before. I think that was the winner for an award category. Maybe the physical category, I think is what it was, because it's part of Young Jump, I think is what it was. I think it's that series. And here's a fun fact. No Tokyo Revengers in the top 10 finally. This is the first time in weeks, for months, that there's no Tokyo Revengers. The first Tokyo Revengers volume on this list is actually at number 15. That's kind of baffling, but I guess everyone finally got their Tokyo Avengers volumes bought. So a couple things that we do have coming up. Obviously, issue 40 is dropping this Sunday. The cover will be one piece. We got color pages for Magu-chan and the Food Wars Sanji edition. Some notable things. The last 4 listed, Niru, Ayakashi Triangle, Red Hood, and Candy Flurry. So shout out to that. We know Candy Flurry is pretty much on its last leg with how the series is, with where it's at currently from the latest chapter. Yeah, it's getting axed. It's dead. It's dead, 100%. With issue 41 coming out after that, the cover is Undead Unluck. All right, that's pretty cool. Love to see that. We do have color pages for Black Clover, which of course coming back from its unplanned break, Witch Watch, and High School Family that Kubo saved. So all good stuff there involving Manga Sales and what is to come. I guess with that, we can go ahead and hop over to our manga ratings for the week.
I do want to say, just for the top 5, the Kaguya Wants to Tell You. Easier name that most people might know it by is Kaguya Sama Love is War.
I still haven't heard of that. But yeah, you're right. That might be a more common name. But no, I have no idea what that is, and I have no idea what Horse Daughter Cinderella Gray is. No clue. Hey, number 1 and 2 in Japan, so whatever. So all right, let's go ahead and hit our chapter ratings for the week. I feel like we got maybe some spicy stuff to kind of talk about here. We got a little bit of some ranch to go over. All right, so kick things off with One Piece, 1023. Josh, what you got?
I'm gonna give it a 9. Good chapter.
I respect that. I'm gonna probably roll with I'll be generous this week. I'll give it a 9, I guess. What about My Hero Academia 324? Man, fuck both y'all.
8.
7.
Man, you're not allowed to rate anymore.
It's all about the train, man.
Fuck you in that train. I'm going to give it an 8. All right, here we go. Black Clover, 304.
Hit the button.
Hitting the button.
What the is this chapter?
Josh, what you got, bud?
I don't know why you two are so salty.
It's the second piece.
I don't agree that it was a great chapter, but I'm not salty about it.
It's the second piece of dog doo in this episode after my hero. No, yeah. It was just, oh my God, it was so bad. Like, I guess the beginning of the chapter wasn't so bad, but it's Mimosa coming in with his god tier power up when she's been pretty much useless through the entire series.
And then just breaks reality.
Just breaks reality, and not only that, but does something Tabata has already done once that no one really liked, which that first instance was when Julius was revealed to not even be dead.
Right.
And just brought back everyone that had just died in that fight. Which, in that chapter, basically everyone in that fight died.
Right.
So, yeah, it was just a big piece of dog duty. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Ooh, damn, okay.
I'm giving it a 3 because it angered me.
Okay, what about you, Zach?
6.
I'll give it a 6 with you, and I'm just gonna give it that high of a rating because I mean, Josh, even though I agree with you and it is bullshit, I got some solid laughs out of the first few pages. Okay,
listen, I'm not saying that the first few pages weren't solid.
They were funny.
But I'm just saying the main piece that I took away from this,
I understand, yeah,
just made me so salty, and I wish you would have met us in the middle and just gave it a 4.
Look, man, I just got some really good laughs out of the first few, and that's enough for me to give it a decent rating. I mean, 6 is still, how about a 5? I'll drop to a 5. Does that make you happy?
I'm not trying to.
Don't be pressured by this asshat.
I'm not here to buy pity drops. Like
whatever. All right. What about Dr. Stone 208?
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, 7 seems pretty solid.
I'll give it a 7 as well. JJK 155.
It was a pretty good episode chapter. I'll give it an 8.
7.
7 as well. Mission Yozakura Family, chapter 95. Giving this one a 9, 100%. Great. These have been absolutely just such good chapters, and I can't wait for the next chapter. Undead Unluck, chapter 76. Okay, all right. I was riding such a massive high for 16 pages of this, of the 19
Are you salty?
I'm not salty. I'm still going to give it a good rating because, again, I was riding an extreme high for 16 pages because it was like 16 pages of just like, oh, shit, this is legit. And then it's just like I get to page 17 and it's like, wait, hold on. I have to go back to like page 4 or 5. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? There was a shot of where Undecrease had, one of our, I'm drawing a blank on what her, Unmove, had Unmove. And it looked like, and I sent this to Josh and he agrees with me, it looked like he ripped her eyes out. Like legit, like the way that like her, like she was bleeding from the eyes and everything, and the way even Unstoppable was just like, oh no, he got her eyes. And the way he was like clenching his fist, I thought she got her eyes ripped out, and I was like, bro, most brutal chapter of the week, most brutal pages of the week. Let's go. No, we get to like page 17. She opens her eyes. She has her eyes. All he did, and I went back and looked at the page. The only way I was able to then tell after the fact that that's all he did was the blood that was on his knuckles. He just punched her in the face repeatedly and just bruised up her eyes where she couldn't open her eyes. But from the way the page was drawn, it looked like her eyes was basically ripped out in the way it was kind of set up. But then at the end, where she like opens her eyes and says, "Don't move," because that's her ability. I was just like, man, you had me going. You had me. They had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. I'll still give it probably an 8. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, if let's say she did get her eyes ripped out, 9 easy. But I'll give it an 8 because I was riding a big high there for 16 pages. Mashal, chapter 75.
It took me a moment because I vaguely remember what this one was after the beach crap.
Beach crap was a 10.
I'll give it an 8.
Josh?
Let's see. Give me a second. Let me refresh myself.
See, he can't remember either.
Well, I just remember that Mashal's favorite food is cream puffs, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'm probably gonna roll an 8. I really liked the ending setup for it.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was a nice ending.
Yeah.
Sakamoto Days, Volume 36. Fucking so stupid. So stupid.
The weirdest old maid game ever.
So stupid, dude.
I can't grip it.
I can't get the card out. Oh, sorry, I'm holding it too tightly. Swaps the cards. Sakamoto. All right, you know what? After I read this chapter, the first thing I said was, "That's it. This is it." Sakamoto is the most broken anime character, the most broken character in manga. Period. He can beat Goku. I'm throwing it out there.
Don't cheat again. I don't know what you did, but I know you cheated. Shoop. Nope. Shoop.
Yeah, he starts going super fast, checking the other guy's cards. Like, all right, nope, don't want that card. Nope, don't. Ooh, that's the card I want. So stupid. So stupid.
I give it a 9.
I give it a 9 too. What about Lose a Samurai, chapter 29?
I'll give it a 9.
Really? Okay.
I very much enjoyed this. The whole flop of the interactions and whatnot. Now that they're not suicide bloodthirsty.
Fair. I also this was the chapter where we had one of our characters like keeps calling someone out, and she's like, "No, I'm not that way." Is
Yes.
that? Yeah, it was just like, "Hey, guy with the weird squares on his head, whatever." He switched like, "What are you talking about?" And he's got circles.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'd give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. What about Witch Watch, chapter 27?
Did you catch up with this?
I did.
Wasn't that a trip that it switched gears right when you stopped?
Yep. It did. It was a huge tone shift as soon as I stopped reading it.
This episode, I'll give it a 7.
I'll give it a 7 as well. Yeah. Blue Box, chapter 18.
Fucking feels.
I know.
I'll give it an 8.
8 as well. Candy Flurry, chapter 17.
I will give it. I'm gonna go with a 3 because I really can't care about anything that's going on because it feels like it's going to a final battle.
Yeah.
But I honestly care nothing about this antagonist or our hero's motivations at this time.
I give it a 1. That's the second lowest rating I've ever given. The other lowest rating was obviously my 0 I gave on the Dr. Stone chapter because it had a very detailed spider in it. I'm not about that life. But yeah, Candy Flurry, it's just it stinks now. I do think that chapter 1 was promising. I do personally, but literally even chapter 2 just dropped it and just was continuing to get dropped further and further. And like you said, now we have this main antagonist, and it's just like give no fucks at all. Just don't. What about Red Hood, chapter 8?
I don't know how to feel about it.
7.
7 from Josh. Don't know how to feel from Zach.
Yeah.
I want to give it a 6.
Oh, okay. I'll probably just give it a 7. I enjoyed the read.
I enjoyed it too, but I think this is the lowest I've given Red Hood, which I mean isn't surprising if I'm just giving it 8, but still.
It had a lot of potential those first couple chapters, but these last couple ones have been sort of iffy.
It worries me. It does worry me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Red Hood's in a good place right now, unfortunately.
Like we have a giant muscly furnace walking around punching things.
True.
Yeah.
What about?
I mean, I like the idea. Just it feels like it's I don't know, it's not really going fast enough.
That's fair. What about Nero chapter 7?
I will give it another 6.
Probably a 6 as well. My Hero Vigilantes 108. I'd give this one honestly probably a 9 actually. This was actually a really good chapter. I really enjoyed this one. Kaiju number 8, chapter 43. I would personally give this one probably a 9 as well.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8.
Dan, chapter 22.
I'm going to give this one an 8 too.
8 as well. Tokyo Avengers 220. Love Triangle.
I can't let you die. Just the weirdest jump ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Love Triangle has been even more form than it already was.
Surprised Draken didn't give us a one line at the end.
I know, man. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, all right, where's the cringy one-liner? Hit me with it, brother.
I know.
I'm ready to make another clip out of it.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8 as well.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8.
Eden 157.
I'll give it a 9.
Really? Okay.
I very much enjoyed the whole brother chapter we just had.
Okay, fair. I'll give this one an 8. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
To Your Eternity 148.5.
Oh, my bad. I misread what you said. I don't know what to do. You said Eden 0 earlier, and I still thought To Your Eternity. To Your Eternity is a 9. Eden 0 is a 7.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. You said brother chapter, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, so I'm just keep going.
Yeah. I don't know what it is today. Today I can't designate Eden 0 and To Your Eternity. When I hear one or the other, I think the other thing.
I was stone cold just gonna let that slide. I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about, man.
I was like, here's the right chapter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm just like, I mean, I don't think there was anything involving brothers. And I was just like, well, I mean, we just had like, I guess like the sibling chapters. They're not brothers or brother and sister. Maybe he meant that. I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm not gonna question him.
Yeah. Then you said To Your Eternity. I was like, oh, I'm moving forward. I can't get like earlier when you told me you hadn't watched Eden 0. I thought you had told me you hadn't watched To Your Eternity.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with your brain.
I don't know what is wrong with my brain today.
But no, To Your Eternity 148.5. I agree. That was a 9, 100%. That was a great brother chapter, dude. Seven Other Sins, Fortnite's the Apocalypse, chapter 29. I'd give this one probably an 8. And then, of course, like I said earlier in the show, Ranger Reject now on that hiatus, T's and P's. Solo Leveling 165.
I'll give it an 8.
8 as well. Week Hero 153.
I'll give it a 7.
I'll give it a 7 too. And then El Cid 126 from last week and 127 from this week.
126, I will give an 8.
Okay.
127, I'm going to give a 9 because Caden's about to wreck some shit.
Okay, right on, right on. What was everyone's favorite chapter of the week?
Old Maid. The most intense game of Old Maid I've ever seen, so Sakamoto.
That's fair. That was such a dumb chapter. What about you, Josh?
I'll give it to One Piece.
Okay.
Let's drop in some nuggets of news.
I think this is going to be back-to-back weeks. I'm going to give it to Mission Yo's Core Family again. I really enjoyed this chapter. I really did. There's good shit going on right now. I'm really liking this little arc that we got. But all right, that's it for the show then. We got it. We hit everything that we wanted to hit this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Josh, Zach, you boys have anything you guys want to say to kind of wrap us up here and get us out?
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. If you do like what's going on here on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button. If you really like what's going on, you hit the notification bell. It'll let you know anytime we post a video or clip of any time. You can do that at youtube.com/Sparky3.
Bingo. Josh, what about you, bud? What you got?
You can follow us on Twitter at AniMan Podcast, where we've been tweeting a little more than we normally have.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
I've been more active on Lighthearted Gamers Twitter than anything else.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, we can tell.
Fuck off. I've been popping off on that, man. I'm having fun. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now in the gaming world. A lot of good stuff going on in the anime world. Got a terrible football show coming out. Lots of good things coming out here at Sparky 3, man. We got couple other little projects in the works that I'm really excited to get out there. So just do everything that Zach said and more. We'd greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and hopefully you guys have an absolutely incredible day. That said, until next time, once again, we are on a break next week. Episode 49 will be out on the 19th, and then big episode 50 celebrating our 1-year anniversary of AniMan Plus will be out on the 26th. Until next time, guys, have a good one.
Bye.
Later.